There are candidates that are filling the gap. Donald Duke is one of them. Sowore is another. Sowore may be profiting from the noise making here and there. Atiku Abubakar, in a country with so many ethnic configurations, you need to balance the political algorithms so that the dichotomies can be well, synchronized into the national conversation. You can see how difficult it is for Peter Obi to market his slogan, "I'm only coming to do 4 years." He says he wears one wristwatch. Pictures exist where there are so many wristwatches. He has one. Say he wears one shoe. That's also a killer of productivity. If you are wearing one shoe, you are wearing one shoe, and nobody will produce shoes again because companies will fold up. So he thought he was playing on the sentiments of Nigeria to say he's very frugal. Even now, it's most likely that Peter Obi may not contest 2027 election.
Why do you say so?
I am seeing a lot of crisis in NDC that will consume him. I'm seeing the body language of the owner and owners of the NDC, distinguished Senator Sher Dixon. A party that should present a man like Peter Obi, who I like to refer to as behaving like the Chichidodo bird. The Chichidodo bird is a very beautiful bird, no stain and all that. In Ayikuyama's beautiful ones are not yet born. It's a peculiar bird in Ghana. It's not in Nigeria. But I'm just borrowing it to describe a Peter Obi who that bird does not eat anything apart from maggots.
Yeah. If President Tinubu, for the sake of argument, loses or the party is fragmented before 2027, does Governor Okpobolo have a plan B, or is Edo betting everything on plan A, which is President Tinubu?
The word "if" does not arise.
What's your reaction to Senator Oshiomhole's reaction on the floor of the Senate over this NNPC missing, if you like, inquest?
Those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stone. That's my reaction.
Welcome to Niger Unfiltered, a SYMFONI podcast. And our guest on today's edition of the program is someone you can call S this, S that, has worn so many caps, and right now wearing the cap of Commissioner for Information Strategy, Edo State, Kassim Afegbua. Good to have you on SYMFONI once again.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure, always. And I must comment, SYMFONI, you are getting deeper and deeper into the media space, to the online TV space, and I specifically requested for this interview.
Thank you very much. All right, let's start. Let's start this way. Let's have your assessment of President Tinubu's 3 years in office in areas of economy, areas of insecurity, and democratic ethos.
Well, I'm a fan of President Tinubu, unapologetically. Others who want to cringe at such, demonstration of fanship. But before I started supporting Tinubu in his political excursions, I had a series of interactions with him one-on-one. And I saw in him a man who is very articulate, who is very brilliant, who understands the issues, who understands the dynamics in the political landscape of Nigeria, who also has been part and parcel of the struggle for the emancipation of Nigerians in the hands of the military, went on exile, did this, did that, and at the end of the day, succeeded, in pushing the military back to the barracks. So for me, my admiration for him is born out of the fact that he's not just a political strategist. He's one who knows how to nurture strong political minds. By the time he completes 4 years and a renewed mandate is given to him, I think some of his policy framework will sink deeper, for the well-being of the people. But the preponderance of opinion on the outer space is that this government has not performed well, this government has not done well, and all of that. I'm not going to join in that mass hysteria because it is peculiar with public opinion in this country that whether you do well, you don't do well, they will keep running, commentaries, condemn him, slaughter him, and all that. And when the individual leaves the position and another comes, you now begin to see some level of nostalgia. Oh, how I wish this man continues. It would have been easier. I'm saying this from the point of view of the man I speak for before now, former President Babangida. The image of Babangida they painted to us as Lagos journalists those days and all of that was different from the image I saw when I became very close to him, and I was now interrogating scenarios of governance, what informed some of the decisions he took and what he did and all of that. And going around the country again, I saw that the impact of IBB in the entire country was quite massive and all of that. But when he was there, it was a matter of leave the stage. You are destroying Nigeria. Because if I am to look at him from the point of view of what he inherited, for people who say, it was an NNPC government and all that, the previous government was nothing to write home about.
We'll come to that.
Yeah.
We'll come to your perspective. But I want you to speak specifically to his achievements or how he has addressed the issue of suffocating poverty and the economic hardship in the land, and whether he is seeking democracy at all.
You see, when you have a situation that people are already used to, and when you want to change that situation, it's like being a disruptor of a process that has been endemic or sit-tightism, kind of. You will not get results on a generous note, as most Nigerians are expecting.
You are seen as one of the most vociferous voices when it comes to political commentary in the country. And of course, during Buhari's regime, you were hard calling out bad governance and calling him out when necessary. But people believe that you have been quiet for a very long time under this present administration. Why?
I am not quiet. I have been strategic and I have been methodical. The reason I'm saying this is born out of the fact that I have access to process information. I get feedback. I talk to those in authority. I ask questions. I also offer suggestions, and I see action being taken. I don't need to start exposing them. Some of them on my phone. I talk to the highest authority in the land. I exchange, viewpoints and all of that. When I say things that should be done differently, I put them in writing, I send to them, and they give me feedback. And oftentimes I see reports. But you see, you may not get the full import of everything if you don't have enough information. Under Buhari, my quarrel was like the former president, may he so rest in peace, was very taciturn, withdrawn, and almost unwilling to take decisions when they matter most. When there was NSAS protest, even for him to address the nation, it was almost like pushing him on the butt. Please go and talk. That shouldn't be, And a few times that he conducted media chat interviews, you could see the same withdrawn attitude, I don't care attitude of a president. It was more or less like government by proxy. Delegated responsibility. A young boy, small boy who has never worked in his life, who was selling recharge card in Kaduna, as they told us, was more or less calling the shots. So when you see that kind of scenario with one's level of intellect and understanding of the dynamics of the country, you will be piqued. You'll be angry. You'll be worried that this thing is happening. So I'm working at the subnational. At the quiet level, I know the way I interrogate my governor. When decisions are to be taken, I have opportunity to take decision and interrogate decision-making process. I make my contributions. I stand by it. If it's not comfortable with me, I withdraw myself.
All right, let's look at Edo State. Let's talk about security and shutting down of schools in Edo. In April this year, you declared, and I'm quoting you directly, Edo is now safe for investment and growth. 2 months later, Edo shut down schools because of leaked TSS memo warning of mass abductions of school children in the horizon. How do you respond to this?
It is true that Edo is safe for investors. We have been getting quite a number of them who are coming. But again, when you now see a flurry of activities with respect to kidnapping in the country of school children, it's a new normal and quite strange. And because Edo is a transit state, everybody going to the southeast, you pass through Edo from Lagos. If you are going to Lagos, you pass through Edo. You are going to southeast, you pass through Edo. You are going to south-south, you pass through Edo. You are going to the north, you pass through Edo. So Edo's road network and arteries is quite loose, so to speak, because everybody comes in. Some people come in to commit crimes and they jet out. So our responsibility is to ensure that we behave in a manner that will resonate that confidence in the minds of that we are taking action when we ought to take action. So if we receive such information from the secret police, for example, I would decide to say, or we decide to ignore them, and the incident happened, we will now be reacting rather than being proactive. So what we did was proactive based on intelligence information that we got as a government, and we took the necessary action to also beef up security around the border communities. Nigeria has a lot of ungoverned areas, quite a lot, but all of this requires the support, solidarity, and encouragement and motivation of the citizen so that they can perform their responsibility with all intents and purposes and without inhibitions.
Does it not weigh on you as the spokesman of the government that right now, because of security threats or kidnap threats, your children at home, they can't go to school? Does it not bother you and weigh on you?
Well, it is better for a child to be safe at home than to be exposed to in the hands of kidnappers. It is not going to be a permanent feature in our body politic. It is going to be a temporary measure put in place to ensure that there is sanity in the land. We are just complaining about the Oyo incident. From our own intelligence, we were told that the governor of that state got information that such things was going to happen. Perhaps he ignored it to further, maybe they were trying to play politics. It has happened now, and the responsibility is now on even the federal government to ensure that there's safe release of those children. So we will not behave in such manner. When we got information, what about if children were to, if teachers are on strike or university lecturers are on strike? Don't students stay at home? So it's better for you to stay at home and be safe than for you to expose them to the vagaries of kidnappings and what have you.
Let's look at accusations that teachers in Edo are being owed salaries, and also claim that council staff are also not being paid. What's the story, and how do you respond to this?
Well, I have since debunked that. I did a press conference barely 72 hours ago, yeah. And you know, mischief makers will naturally come up with all kinds of stories. When Edo is too quiet, it is not too good for them. They want Edo to be in the news for the wrong reason. So that places them because they don't support the fact that government is working or government is doing well. So we recruited more than 5,000 teachers since we came to join the existing number. We've recruited over 2,000 health workers. That also means there will be increase in overhead, increase in staff emoluments and salaries. But because of the subsidy claims, by different states of the country, there's more money for the states. And so there's no state that can give any excuse that they are not able to pay salaries, even when the minimum wage has increased to 70,000. And Only recently there are conversations around trying to increase minimum wage to 100,000. So what is realistic is doable. What is not realistic is what the government will frown at or cultivate reason why it has to be the way they see it, and not the way Labour sees it. But if there's anything that the governor is doing right, it is this area of salary, where the civil service was literally run by consultants by the previous government. But we've stopped all of that now. We have recruited more hands to fill in the vacancy that existed. Promotions were stagnated for 7-8 years. We have effected those promotions now. And so, to a large extent, I think we are kicking. We are well and good in the area of staff salaries, 21st, 22nd of every month. Salary, teachers and other staff get their alert.
If that's the case, the Center for Rights Protection Practitioners called for the resignation of Governor Mondo Gbobolo, describing his administration as inept and nonchalant. As the man who speaks for the government, who wears the cap, tell us at least 3 specific projects started and completed, not mere promises, not groundbreaking, not the one that at different stages, just 3 specific completed.
My brother and friend, you see, whether I get that right, I don't actually know that particular body, but they reserve the right to make their voice heard. But you see, like I often tell people, please don't tell me you are a civil rights activist, you are a social critic and all that, and you begin to tell lies. Telling lies or propaganda is what I frown at. There are some nameless guys in Edo who are operating on that conference of registered political party for 22 years. That guy has been the chairman of that body, and every time he comes out to continue to raise doors over nothing, and he will just tell lies. But let me not take you far. When we were marking our 1 year in office, November 12 last year, we celebrated the construction and active operation of 63 primary healthcare centers across the 18 local governments. Our target is 146. We have taken that number now beyond 63. If I ask the health commissioner, I will have been able to get the exact figure now, but it's nearly 80 something. Furnished, provided with drugs and all that, to carry out first primary, responsibility with respect to healthcare. That one is functional. Even because there is no general hospital in Edo as we speak, only the Edo Specialist Hospital that was built by Oshiomhole. The general hospital, the Stella Obasanjo Hospital, the previous government, in an attempt to expand it, more or less vandalized quite a number of it, and 50% completed. They commissioned it. Brought Obasanjo to come and commission because it's named after his late wife, Stella Obasanjo. When we came on board, we discovered that over 7.3 billion is still being owed on that property, on that facility. Most of the things are not done. Some equipment have been supplied, warehouse in some rooms in that particular place. But it wasn't habitable to the extent that you were commissioning it because you were leaving government. So, education, we are doing well. Infrastructure, we are doing a lot of roads. The one that Obasanjo put signboard to say, we are sorry, this road belongs to federal government. Sapele Road, his vehicle got stuck there, and he was saying that it was federal government road. Are federal people coming to apply roads in Edo? We are almost 80% completed of that one. Now, if you go there, you see. And we have gone a step further to even introduce a flyover at Adetuwa Junction. Work is ongoing there as we speak now, except when there are rainfalls. That's where the contractors will have to stop work. We also have done 90% completed the flyover in Ramat Park. Usually a very busy area because there's a market around there and all of that. It's almost completed now. It's been asphalted. Apart from even the concrete slabs on it, we also asphalted it. So that means in 40 years, that road will remain like that. Plus all kinds of drain and underground tunnels that will lead rainfall down to the Ikoba River. Because that particular flyover is on a slope. So tendency for too much of rainwater to affect it was there. But there's serious underground drains and all of that done. That is there.
When we came on board, Bini, Ekpoma was almost impossible. Vehicles abandoned, they were now passing the other end, Oluku, Afuze, and down to Auchi. But now we have fixed all of that. In fact, remedial work was done on that so that they can open up that road for commuters to use and transporters. We've done that. The endemic Ekpoma spot that was so terrible is being fixed as we speak. You can go there, you see it. There are a lot of road network going on in Edo North. Akoko Edo area, we have completed some of the roads. Others that we have not completed, they are undergoing construction as we speak. So in terms of infrastructure, I think the governor can be scored A. My only worry is I kept asking him, are you sure we are going to complete all these projects because they are quite massive? What about Siloko Road down to off Siloko Road? Even now we are working on Ewotubu, as these are all endemic areas that were abandoned by the previous government. Ekewa Road, we have finished the section that leads to the army barracks, and we are taking it further so that we can end it at Gelegele area. So the volume of work and construction that are ongoing is massive. It comes to social aspects. The governor is building new markets. Oba market got burnt under the previous government. He promised 100 million to fix it. He couldn't. Now we have built, almost completed, maybe 95% complete now. Brand new market for them. The people are happy, and they are even asking us, are you sure we are going to have our shops or lock up stores in this place? Because the beauty of this market now, where are we going to have money? And the governor has said, no. It's just certainly this belongs to them. That one is almost completed. We have Ekpoma market, we have Irua market, we have Jatu market in Edo North. So you spread them like that, and they are receiving very, very cogent attention. The market women, he gave them 1 billion naira interest-free loan, so that those who are doing small business can be assisted to, and the students, we have a bursary. He has revived the bursary commission. We are now, he voted 1 billion to that, appointed the board and all of that, so that they can be taking care of those students in any tertiary institution in Nigeria.
All right, people are wondering, the governor publicly said that he would deliver 2.5 million votes to President Tinubu. First, people are wondering, does Edo have up to 2.5 million registered voters? And then secondly, what has President Tinubu done for Edo State that the governor is making such a huge pledge?
Edo is under APC. That's number one. Number two, President Tinubu removed subsidy from the system. That has increased the revenue coming to Edo, for which the governor is deploying to do infrastructure, do other social activities. So you cannot say what has President Tinubu done for Edo. Before that, now the resources coming to Edo may not be enough to do so much in terms of infrastructure, but at least we are better off now. That is that. The point I think people don't understand our claim that we will deliver 2.5 million votes. It's like a campaign sing-song to motivate our members, motivate the electorate to key into our agenda of ensuring that we have more people participating in the election process. It's not necessarily that the 2.5 million will be put on our doorsteps. It's like setting, a tall order for yourself and looking at that to motivate you to drive to that peak. That is the idea behind the 2.5 million votes. If now you just ask me, do you have 2.5 million votes? We will say yes. More and more people will key into it. Edo normally, votes maybe 500, 700,000 across all parties and all that. But if as APC and the kind of things that the governor is doing, we are able to rally around the electorates together with that sing-song, that slogan, it will resonate well amongst the electorate. And so that way people will say, governor doesn't make we produce 2.5 for make I go support him because he's doing so well. That was the rationale behind that. But people are taking it beyond the ordinary. But it's okay. We are motivated by that slogan. We are carrying out a lot of mobilization and sensitization. We are telling people that they should key into it. We are using the governor's achievements and performance projects here and there as point of contact. So if you go to an area in Benin called the Temboga area at Upper Mission, we are doing the road, Temboga Road, massive road network with all kinds of drainage channels. It's a massive work. we're almost completed now because we want to link it up to the bypass so that instead of passing Bowo, you can follow that area to travel, link the bypass, and you hit the road. If we finish that road now, or by the time we finish that road, and we go there to campaign, do you think the people in that area will not vote for us? Particularly those who almost lost their houses to erosion, gully erosion and what have you. All of that has been recovered now, filled up, and smooth road is running on it. So you need to do projects that will make the people, to appreciate your government. You may not have provided answers to all the problems, all the nagging problems in the state. But for God's sake, there is so much going on that it will be safe to conclude that Edo is a construction site. And that is not in doubt.
All right, let's leave Edo alone for now.
Don't leave us alone.
The global news medium, Bloomberg, said P2B's entry into 2027 race will further fragment the opposition camp and invariably, consciously, unconsciously, deliberately be working in President Tinubu's favor. How do you see that analogy?
I cannot agree less. Because the opposition came up with the sing-song that they were building a coalition. And I told them then that that is not a coalition. That was more like building or hijacking a party in the name of African Democratic Congress, ADC, and poaching people who are disgruntled in some other parties to come and coalesce into them. They were trying to borrow a leaf from APC, given its formation. But APC was an amalgam of different political parties, ACN, CPC, APP, part of ABGA, to form what we now have as APC. Even in the choice of colors, it was also a marriage of colors and ideas before they could produce that in 2013, 2014. Now, the ADC, the pattern of the takeover, also raised a lot of dust. And one had expected that the Peter Obi getting into ADC will have given, the ruling party some level of discomfort, political discomfort. When you have Atiku, you have Obi, you have Amechi, and all of these guys. But no sooner, he bolted away down to NDC registered by Sarah Kedison. And along the line, Sarah Kedison, somebody also came up challenging the Sarah Kedison's party, saying that the manner of registration was ran foul of the provisions of the Constitution. So you see, and Obi moving from Labour Party to ADC down to NDC, and also leaving PDP to be soaked in his own internal contradictions, will only help the ruling party to gain traction more, because Obi has taken away his own supporters from ADC. PDP, those who are fighting, is balkanizing to two, the Wike faction, the Samini Turaki faction, and all of that. Then the ADC has chosen Atiku now, and Babachi Lawa has also put a spanner in the works, saying that's massively rigged and doctored. So when you look at the activities around the opposition party, you see that they have not learned their lessons. They are driven by greed, avarice, and the propensity to do the opposite of what they preach is very high in them. So when you have that kind of scenario, Bloomberg has given a very correct reading of the political temperature around all these opposition parties. And I tell people, I said, Peter Obi, for example, if he was, a serious political animal, as all of us should be, would have been able to put his house in order in Labour Party. He would have been able to grow Labour Party. By now, Labour Party will have been rubbing shoulders Don't forget that when they came on board, they had some House of Rep members, they have some senators. They will have been, and all of those senators and rep members, they have all emptied into APC. But instead, he came in, destroyed it, balkanized it, brought the Nadi Usman, brought this one. Before he said Jack Robinson, he eloped from the window.
Okay, what do you make of this? Aisha Yesufu used her handle to really criticize the leader of the NDC, saying his first major post-primary media appearance was used in massaging his fragile ego as if he is insecure and then as if he's in competition with P2B, rather than using the platform to market his presidential candidate P2B and Rabiu Kwakwaso. What do you make of it?
That is what you get when you are not the architect of a political platform or structure you intend to use for election. Has Peter Obi built one party? No. The Labour Party he started, what ended it? So, Aisha Yesufu can speak from the point of view of being politically naive. Politics is different from activism. If you want to be an activist, please remain as an activist. The moment you join the murky waters of politics, you begin to be reassessed, and your entire humanity will be unveiled to the public in a manner that will end up, or people will end up seeing you as a contradiction. So now, you see there's something that has removed from the personality of Aisha Yesufu. She used to criticize, run APC now. Can she criticize APC now with what NDC did to her? No, I'm telling you, but she will do that not from point of morality. I have an issue. It will be from point of view of just wanting to talk. And people will not take her serious. Because that will amount to contradiction. If a party that you have accompanied Peter Obi into has treated her that way, shortchanging her and all of that, and that now she's now singing, all kinds of songs, then you know that she didn't understudy the dynamics and political temperature of NDC before she joined. And you saw what Sarah Kadisi said. He said, don't provoke me because I have equal opportunity and right to be president of Nigeria or even contest as president. So the fact that we ceded our party to your candidate does not mean that you should insult us.
But don't you think that was also ego tripping?
It's not ego tripping. It's a reminder to the likes of Aisha Yesufu that if you know how well to cultivate a farmland, you have no business coming to hide under the shade in my farm. That's simple. Because you see, party politics is very strategic and is very, very delicate. People to run a party, I've done so before, National Democratic Party, 2002 up to 2007. I understand the point of view of Seraka Dixon. And now we are graciously giving you our platform. You must respect us. You don't have to pour insults on our face or our faces simply because one of your adherents or whatever, missed out being a candidate in the senatorial election or primaries. If Aisha Yesufu feel so pained, she could as well go and start a party and register one and be the sole owner. So it's not about, Seraka Dixon was, he chose the right diction, he delivered the right message. I listened to him.
But don't you think some persons argue that NDC was just existing in name before the coming of Kwakwaso and P2B into that party and with their followers?
Why did Kwakwaso left his own party that existed in structure? if it is that easy.
Did he agree with them?
No,
he was not a founder anyway. He was not a founder of NNPP because I interviewed those who were behind NNPP because we assumed that Wakwanso was the brain and the soul and the body of NNPP, but we later got to find out he didn't find that. He didn't found NNPP.
Leave all of those. You see, just the same way you are saying that Peter Obi has given a face to NDC. Don't forget that Saraka NDC was a former governor, he's a senator of the Federal Republic and all that. So, like he said, he has all the qualifications to be president of Nigeria also. So if you think that Peter Obi has given NDC a face, so be it. But as a party man that Saraka NDC is, he will look for persons that will deepen, the fortune of his party. He can privatize the party because he's the sole driver of the party before Peter Obi joined. And if you follow the arguments of Kenneth Okonkwo and others with respect to people being lobbied to collect money, being shortchanged, you will know that the NDC is as rotten as you can imagine.
I interviewed the person Kenneth was also alluding to, and he dismissed that allegation in its entirety.
NDC has no morality to criticize APC. And Aisha Yesufu should please keep quiet going forward. All of this noise-making and lousy conducts are all befitting of a woman who says she's an activist.
Let's look at the candidates. Ahead of 2027 elections, there are quite a number of them: Donald Duke, Showore, P2B, Atiku Abubakar, and President Tinubu. Let's have your honest assessment of these candidates.
There are candidates that are filling the gap. Donald Duke is one of them. Showore is another. I will call them filling the gap, even though they are my good friends, because they don't have the stature, the structure to be able to deliver a presidential election that will make them victors. Showore may be profiting from the noise making here and there. He too was the alpha and omega of his political party. Only recently, when they gave him presidential candidate again, he stepped down from being chairman. So he's the alpha and omega of his party before now. So it's good to have people like that who are also adding voices to the national conversation of political involvement. Even though during the day they will say they will be making all the noise, at night they will tell you that Tinubu is building a one-party state. But meanwhile, they are emerging as candidates of their different parties. So that is that. Which other candidate again? Atiku Abubakar. Don't forget that in 2023, I was very hard on him because in a country with so many ethnic configurations, you need to balance the political algorithms so that the dichotomies can be well, synchronized into the national conversation. Northern dichotomy, southern dichotomy. After Buhari 8 years, it is natural for the South to have its own shot of 8 years. And now we have Tinubu. They should allow Tinubu to do his 8 years. You can see how difficult it is for Peter Obi to market his slogan, I'm only coming to do 4 years. Even a lame duck critic will not buy such kind of rhetoric, because you cannot get a presidency you have been looking for all this year, you're not going to say only 4 years. As 8 years in Anambra, was able to impact significantly in Anambra, where you have teachers going on strike, you have doctors going on 13-month strike. You cannot. When teachers went on strike, what happened? More than 3-4 months. He didn't do local government election once. He increased school fees in Nayu, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, denied the children of the poor opportunity to advance further. And now President Tinubu has introduced NEL Fund, his crime blue mother. All of this, maybe perhaps he didn't realize that he would look for president one day. So that was the true self of Obi as governor of Anambra. He showed them pepper. So that one should be known. He says he wears one wristwatch. Pictures exist where there are so many wristwatches. He has one. He says he wears one shoe. That's also a killer of productivity. If you are wearing one shoe, you are wearing one shoe, and nobody will produce shoes again because companies will fold up. So he thought he was playing on the sentiments of Nigeria to say he's very frugal when it comes to economic realities or economic engagements. But for God's sake, you cannot, any human being say variety is the spice of life. When you wear 2-3 shoes, companies producing shoes will keep producing, and they will keep employing the people who are working in those companies to make ends meet. So all those kind of economic, this thing that he was trying to propagate, they are to me, they are frugal economic measures that will not advance any serious discourse. So when you look at Atiku being the candidate of the North, Obi being the candidate of the East, Tinubu being the candidate of Nigeria, there's a reason why the outcome of 2023 elections came the way it came. I'm taking inspiration from what happened in 2023. I'm using that one to set agenda for 2027. Because even now, it's most likely that Peter Obi may not contest 2027 election.
Why do you say so?
I am seeing a lot of crisis in NDC that will consume him. I'm seeing it already. I'm seeing the crisis. Being a political player, I can predict. I'm seeing the body language of the owner and owners of the NDC, distinguished Senator Sher Dixon. Another tough cookie. Very cerebral. I'm seeing that he's not going to give in easily to the trappings and temptations of the obedience who are loafing around on social media shouting, Peter Obi, Peter Obi, Peter Obi. You need a political platform that has structure across the country. And the NDC as it is now has no structure apart from FCT and maybe a few states. In terms of 36 state structure, 774 local governments, my God, there's no time. Where is the time? That was what happened under Labour Party, that they were unable to produce 176,000 polling agents. They were 44,000 short of that figure. And they were the first to shout blue murder that elections were not being posted on IRF. So all of these things are technical, my brother. If you know party administration, you know that everything follows a pattern, structure. There are people who are gatekeepers in the different components of the party structures. So I'm not saying a Peter Obi presidency, he will contest him. Maybe he will donate his votes to Tinubu. Most likely.
Are you saying that the NDC may scuttle his presidential ambition of being on the ballot?
It's not about NDC scuttling. It's about the fact that NDC is they have taken NDC to court on issue of even registration have been issued.
No, but that one has been dismissed that NDC, the court compelled INEC to register. The only issue they had was the symbol.
They've not finished the case now. They have not finished the case. Are you speaking for them? They haven't finished. The case is still on. And it's a valid case because a party that should present a man like Peter Obi, who I like to refer to as behaving like the Chichi Dodo bird, such a party should be free from all kinds of infractions. The Chichi Dodo bird is a very beautiful bird, no stain and all that. In Ayukwama's beautiful ones are not yet born. It's a peculiar bird in Ghana. It's not in Nigeria. But I'm just borrowing it to describe a Peter Obi who that bird does not eat anything apart from maggots.
Yeah, from feces.
And where did you get maggots? But he doesn't know like steak. Don't touch me. Oh, it's a very credible bird. So you are operating within a Nigerian populist that you yourself has accepted that Nigeria has a lot of challenges here and there and all that, and you want to be the saint from that system. And when you join a political party called NDC, you now know that there are certain infractions here and there. Your adherents and supporters are already criticizing the chairman. They are saying things are not done properly, that the primaries were not done in the proper sense. It was just like a coronation. Do you have a right to even complain that another party did coronation with their own presidential candidate when you also did the same thing? This is the reality. When people dwell in contradiction, oftentimes they don't remember. But when they are reminded, they'll start quarreling.
Let's look at in a free and fair contest. You have called some others as feelers. In a free and fair contest between Obi and Atiku, who do you think can give President Tinubu a real fight in a free and fair, credible election?
Free and fair.
Free, fair, and credible.
None of them.
You think President Tinubu can win in a free and fair election?
Yes, and I will give you the reason. You see, people who don't understand Nigeria's political temperature, they were ready to quickly conclude that Peter Obi is a moving train, is this, is that, and I'll give you. Politics is domiciled at the polling unit level. And because domicile at the polling unit level, the polling unit leaders have their supporters. And these supporters are more in APC than in any other party. Namely, members of House of Assembly who are also interested in going back, members of Senate who are interested in going back, members of House of Reps who are interested in going back, governors, some of them going back, others bringing successors. On election day, they queue. They have imparted in the people in their area. So give or take, they will have opportunity to rally around voters in their domain than those whose party has not been formed and who has not gotten a foothold in the rural areas. 176,000 polling units is no joke. It was the reason why many of these parties will not be able to produce agents, because you are supposed to pay agents. If you are paying agents 10,000 and multiplied by 176,000, tell me what you are going to get. Where do they have the resources? So when people talk, they should look at the geography, the technicalities, the methodologies. You see, each time I engage some of these media guys, anchors, when they talk, I just look at them, I just laugh. If I go to my polling unit in Okola, Unit 1, Ward 5, where I belong, we know ourselves. Mama, Sadia, how now? You're gone, how you doing? Idris, we all, know ourselves. And right there, within there, we know that, yes, APC is on ground, he will win this polling unit. It is the reason why Peter Obi in the Southeast in 2023 won in those places, even though some of it was exaggerated. Because you had 90% attendance, 89% attendance. It's not possible. Attendance at elections is maybe 60%, 62% at most. So, under a free and fair election, Tinubu has the foot soldiers that will man the different places more than any of these political aspirants or candidates. Where is the strength of Sowore? Has he been able to produce a councillor in his party? Where is the strength of Donald Duke? How many governors does he have? Or how many senators? Or how many House of Reps? How many House of Assembly? How many local government chairmen? I didn't even mention that earlier. And these people, the local government chairmen, are closer to their people. The people benefit from their engagements at the local level every time.
In ideal situations. Because some of them also may be there, they are not imparting on the lives of their people.
And those ones, if they are 20, 15 can impart, 5 may not impart. So if you lose 5 out of 20, you are still at the threshold of victory. 15. That's the issue. Just look at it holistically. Remove sentiments. So it is difficult. You have ministers who will go up to show the president that yes, they are in charge in their areas. You have other political appointees, my brother, to defeat an incumbent. Tinubu is not President Jonathan.
So you're blaming Jonathan?
Of course. I blame him even right to his face. I like his calm, his demeanor, his composure, but that is not the spirit of the Niger Delta person. we are tough cookies. You cannot take us for a ride. But President Jonathan was taken for a ride because he was not in charge. I was opportune to witness a particular meeting when I accompanied the Methodical to one or two meetings, and the president was talking about the powers of the president. The moment a tiger tells you that he's a tiger, it's no longer a tiger. A tiger does not need to profess his tigritude for you to know that he has capacity to devour. So once the president started banging the table and said, "Do you know the power of the president?" then the power is gone. The action of a leader dictates the strength or weakness of such a leader. So, I had opportunity to work with Jonathan, former president, but I turned it down. So it's not. He didn't behave like a typical Niger Delta person. We are not given for all of this quiet disposition, gentility, and all that. No. You know, they hear when they say area. When they say area, you say you answer area. Hey, if you give them a boss, you give them a bars. Make anybody come, push you anyhow. You go collect.
Let's wrap up.
We have been wrapping up since.
Okay, final. If President Tinubu, for the sake of argument,
Yes.
loses or the party is fragmented before 2027, does Governor Okpobolo have a plan B, or is Edo betting everything on plan A, which is President Tinubu?
The word "if" does not arise. When you should be asking me when President Tinubu is returned as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for another term, what do you think you'll be looking at?
Do you know why I say if?
Yes, I don't know.
The life we live is not in our hands.
No,
but
I'm
the,
not-
but the time we have is for us to use.
No.
So when we say
I am
if,
not- those are extreme situations.
Yes.
And I'm not looking at those extremes.
elections,
Please, no,
anybody
no, no,
can
no.
lose elections.
No, not losing. Not
Anybody
losing.
can lose elections.
I have given you the scenario that will not
So-
make us to lose.
It has only been when you don't think it can lose.
See, it can't lose. Because let me tell you, I just give you the analysis. People can shout from now till their kingdom come. Naysayers, opinion molders. Governance is not run on public opinion. Anybody who is running government on public opinion will enter the forest of Sambisa and will not come back. Government is a planned indulgence. Leadership is a planned indulgence carried out by the leader who has been appointed or elected to represent and approximate the collective aspirations of a people. Is it Thomas Jefferson that said it, that only the president knows where he's taking his people and not where his people are taking him? So when you dwell too much on public opinion, nobody gauges public opinion. You will run foul of the entire system. You will be confused. Because if you wake up this morning, it's a different thing you are seeing on social media, on public opinion and all of that. Tomorrow, another thing. If you begin to follow that public opinion, you are not doing your set agenda, your renewal agenda, you will miss the shot. So I've told you before, I've been opportune to engage President Tinubu a number of times, more than 12, 13 times, one-on-one. I've asked questions. I see his responses to questions and all of that. He understands the dynamics in the country. He understands what is going on. He's feeling it too. And he's saying it even in his speech on Democracy Day. He said that much. But he said, we are not going to give up hope. We should invest more hope in our country, and people should come back to invest hope in the country because this is our country. If you run away from this country to elsewhere, people in those countries built their country. Come back home and be part of this process. That is the kind of thing I want to hear from a president. That is why you see when I travel out of the country, 3, 4, 5 days, I'm itching to come back home. Because over here, I am somebody. Elsewhere, I am second or third class or fourth class citizen. Look at the way they are molesting our people everywhere. Until we conquer that indecent, selfish attitude of being greedy. We are too greedy individuals. Until we conquer that, we will not be able to propel our will of progress in a manner that we actually deserve and desire and cherish.
If I perceive you are taking me to the wrong direction, I should keep quiet and be going with you?
What do you call wrong direction?
If I perceive you are driving me, I am not seeing where you are leading me to.
Okay,
So I should just keep quiet?
No, you are not going to keep quiet. That's why you have critics. There are people who have been given national honors of being critics. That's another job for the boys, being a critic. There are lawyers who are human rights activists, even though their own rights too is oftentimes not defined. It's the truth. I know that I don't want to call names. They call themselves human rights. They will criticize government, but what they do in their chambers and their little companies is an eyesore. So I am not one of those that can easily be persuaded by some arguments, because I have a lot of experience about governance, about things happening in this country. I've been privileged to speak for IBB for a number of years, over 2 decades. And I have understudied Nigeria. I've had stories. Some of them I've also been a participant. I've seen scenarios. I've played certain roles. I will not be goaded by anybody called a critic and trying to sweet talk me into some level of reality that doesn't exist.
Do you think that if you are not a beneficiary of this government, you will still speak the same way you are speaking?
It's not being beneficiary. I'm only helping to deepen governance in Edo. What am I benefiting? Salary or what?
You said you've spoken 12 times, 13 times with President Tinubu.
Yes, one-on-one, before he became president, during campaign. Because I needed to be convinced that this is the person I'm supporting. The same way I spoke to the Peter Obi, ask him. I transcribed Hilton. And I told him, I said, look at the people that are following you. Look at them, about 10 of them. Only one person is from Kano, Tanko Yunusa. The remaining 9 people are from Southeast, where you come from. It makes you parochial. No insult intended, but that was my assessment of him. I told him. They wanted me to be Peter Obi's spokesman in 2023. Some big shots who were supporting him. I said, no, I've engaged him. Don't forget that in 2019, I was spokesperson to the PDP presidential campaign when Atiku and Peter Obi were candidates. We attended several meetings together of the blueprint they wanted to champion, and I didn't see there's no cutting edge intellectuality in Peter Obi. I'm sorry to say that, but there's no cutting edge intellectuality. I'm not seeing anything so special about him. That's the truth.
Are you saying between Peter Obi and Tinubu, in terms of intellectual capacity, you will choose Tinubu ahead of Peter Obi?
In fact, when Tinubu is number 50, Obi will be number 10.
Really?
Yes. You need to please pair the two of them.
Is it what we are seeing, or we are living in alternate reality?
What are you saying?
Are we living in alternate reality?
You see, this is the mistake people make. If Peter Obi were to be smart and intellectually fecund, I expect him by now to have propagated alternate viewpoints and ideas about governance, different from what Tinubu is doing, to convince Nigerians that if you follow these ones, it will be better. Tinubu floated the Naira. What is your alternative? No opposition has given us any alternative, number one. He removed subsidy. None of them have said that no, subsidy was bad, because they also endorsed subsidy in 2023, that they were going to remove it immediately. Tinubu introduced NER fund. They have not said that. Are they going to remove NEFON? They didn't say it's a bad idea. So, president is coming up with different policies and all that. All they are shouting is about, oh, there's corruption, we don't like this one, this and that. Give me your, okay, electricity. We have not done so well. What are you going to do? Tell us. They begin to make it popular among Nigerians. Everybody is just criticism for the sake of criticism. That's what they call acts for art's sake. Those people who are writers, gifted writers, who will just present society as it is, not as it ought to be. I'm not going to be driven on that path to appreciate and celebrate anybody when you are presenting society as it is. I've just told you just now. I said we need attitudinal reorientation. If I'm a president, I will carry that one out, as a policy. Because you cannot be on traffic and there's a little crisis that you have about 10 different lanes on a 2-lane road. Then you tell me that you still blame government for that mentality. Elsewhere, outside Nigeria, no matter the car, you see them on straight line within that lane. They won't pull their tire off the line because they know the penalty for such. So, if Peter Obi were to be smart, were to be brilliant, he ought to have given us excuses and viewpoints, cutting-edge viewpoints on how to navigate ourselves away from high inflation rate, how this thing. The president has taken our foreign reserve from 9 billion, 4.something billion inherited to 39 billion now. Nigerians will not celebrate that.
Because it doesn't change the price of crayfish in the market.
It changes. I don't know the market will go because I don't know the market will go because this same market I went to the market. Yes, I went to the market even just yesterday, and deliberately to carry out survey and all of that. Things are not the same way they used to be before. They are coming down. Okay. You see, and I also listen. And when you go to the rural areas, you see plenty of yam. They are waiting for people to come and buy them. You see oranges, you see tomatoes, you see onions on Mina Road. When I travel a lot on that Mina Road. So you see, it is convenient for people to say, hey, the price of oil has increased. The price of this thing. My brother, give me what you would do differently as an economist. Obi is good as a trader. Give that to him. But as a leader of a country with several ethnic multiplicities as Nigeria, with all the divergent views and all of that, he doesn't have that cutting-edge knowledge to profile solutions to this problem. Engage Tinubu one-on-one, you'll be shocked the kind of things he's dishing out.
Let me not go.
I have seen Tinubu on global stage and all that, the question and answer session, even the one that they just did recently. You saw the way he articulated positions of what's happening in Nigeria and elsewhere.
We can see from different perspectives anyway. But what's your reaction to Senator Adams Oshiomole's reaction on the floor of the Senate over these NNPC missing, if you like, inquest? Let's just wrap up that.
Those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stone. That's my reaction.
How do you mean?
I end it there.
Thank you for having you once again.
It's a pleasure.